What's up, guys? Chasing Lamely here, and welcome back to our Swindon Rebuild series. We are, of course, the director of football. We're not managing the team, and we're now in our third era because we've had Ian Holloway, we've had Matthew Ord, and now we're about to introduce our third manager. And if you're wondering why it took so long to put this video together, I was waiting for this era to end, and at the time of this recording, it still hasn't, so I'm having to break the era up. But without any further ado, let's go meet the new guy in charge. Let's go meet the Dutch Master. So we rejoined things where we left off on the 17th of January 2028, and this is just before the new manager joins us, because some people I know will be questioning whether or not I've used this little magic button here to bring him in, and I promise you I haven't. So we're going to actually see in real time him being appointed. But ahead of his appointment, I have made some signings, because I said I wasn't giving Matthew Ord any more resources, because frankly, he wasn't earning them. And then, of course, he left us. So because we've got a new manager coming in, I've decided to bring in a handful of new players, just so we can, just give him a little bit of a jump start, as it were. So the first guy coming in is Colombian AC Nord Hugo Marin. He is a centre-half, left-back, defensive midfielder. Doesn't have a lot of pace, but has a lot of potential, and that's sort of what we're looking for, is a player we can bring in to maybe flip for some money or develop into a real first-team footballer. One thing worries me with him is he's got no pace, but of course, he is a young player. He is here to develop. He's nowhere near ready for this level yet, so we're just going to give him time and hope that the new manager either favours him, or that this loan he's going to hopefully go out on is beneficial to us. So that's number one. Number two is Rafael. He is a Brazilian winger / striker / midfielder. Already a League One standard, so a player for this new manager to bring in, and it gives you kind of a hint of what we're looking to be playing with him, because he is best on a wing, and a proper wing, and that wasn't something Matthew Ord won't be using, but he's already good enough at this level with Premier League potential. 19 years old, 5 under 20 caps for Brazil with 2 goals already. Joined us on a free from Atletico Paranaense, I see there, and he's already looking like a good player for this level, but if he develops to a Premier League standard, he shall be with us for quite some time. So keep an eye out for Rafael. I forgot to mention, by the way, that Hugo Marin joined us from Elite FC in Colombia. Hayden Ramsey, another free signing, previously of Brighton and Hove Albion, centre-half, left-back, left wing-back, with pace, which is always good. A leading player for the National League North or South, so we are again going to try and develop if he can become a League One player, and possibly beyond that, I think. But already has some tools. He could come into our team, could become a real kind of force for us over the next few years if he develops under the new manager. And the final new signing to give this squad a jumpstart has been David O'Neill. Joins us from Glenavon in Northern Ireland. Is again a free signing. Has been playing for them, already a National League standard player with a lot of potential to improve, and he is an out-and-out left-back with a little bit of pace, but that should improve with some training, you would hope. And just generally also good player. So, with that said, without any further ado, you can see from the inbox, haven't signed the guy yet. Let's go meet him. So, I mentioned I've been waiting for a work permit for the new manager, and here he is coming in, the Dutch legend, Patrick Kluivert, legendary striker. We'll confirm his signing right there, so you can see we did it the right way. He was interested in joining us, and he has come to us. We'll have a look at what he's been doing. He's actually a head of youth development by trade, but was actually happy to be an assistant manager, and is a very, very good manager as well. We'll get his managerial attributes here. It's not there. There we go. So, good at people management, good at judging ability and potential. Arguably not as good as Matthew Ord on paper, but I think he'll do better. He likes to play a 4-2-3-1 and tends to prefer kind of a gegenpress or a tiki-taka style, as you'd expect from a guy who, of course, has been with Barcelona. Likes youth players, which is why I was signing those young players. Likes a large squad, which is beneficial. Likes to rotate his goalkeepers, which is great. And encourages creativity, uses substitutes again, good for developing young players, plays out of defence, likes to counter-press and intensely do it, and work the ball into the box. So just all around, kind of what we're looking for to help develop these players. In terms of his in-universe history, let's look on where to find that. Is it biography? Well, just do it. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. So, player-wise, of course, played for Ajax, part of that great Ajax team that won the Champions League. Went to AC Milan, then on to Barcelona. Was a key player for Barca for years. Had a spell in the Premier League with Newcastle. Was a bit disappointing, if we're honest, but ended up back at Valencia. And his career kind of tailed out. I think that was sort of his last hurrah with Newcastle. Went to PSV, then went to Lille, where he eventually retired. Quite a short playing career, to be honest, 13 years. I don't know where the milestone for movement is. We'll figure that out shortly. Jobs and the jobs now. I feel like this thing goes mad. Let's just go to biography. We'll see what's been happening since he retired. So he hung up his boots at the age of 32. After not a great end to his career, it's got to be said. As a coach at AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. Then joined PSV as the under-21s manager. Went to Brisbane Roar in Australia as a coach for 4 months. Then went to NEC or NEC in the Netherlands for a year or so, where he moved on to becoming the 21s manager for FC Twente for 2 years. There was an assistant manager for the Dutch national team for 2 years, and then had a whole bunch of spells with the Curaçao national team. I think was there twice as the manager. Went to Amsterdam. I think there's a coach. I can see it here. I know I can see it here. I went to Ajax as under-18s manager. Became director of football at PSG for a year. Then had a spell as assistant manager with Cameroon. Head of youth development at FC Barcelona. Managed Curaçao and then managed Adana, which I think are a Turkish team. They are a Turkish team. So he's been around and has got managerial experience, knows what he's doing, but he was by far the most impressive of the options, so that's why we've got him. So, after we'll have a look at his first month in charge, I guess. No, I say his first month in charge, but actually it was just the end of January we had to get just to see how things are changing under the new manager. So we go into our schedule here. He took over the day before the Charlton game, which we lost 1-0, unfortunately. We then played Chelsea in the fourth round of the FA Cup, got a 2-2 draw at home, a brace there from Sean Wade. So things already started for good. You can see he's already implemented this 4-2-3-1 DN AM wide. Got his first win against Carlisle in the league for 4-1. And, we got some good goals there from Alvarez, Lidfire, Wiseman, and Harrison Burrows. And we got a 2-2 draw away at Portsmouth with goals from Joel McGregor and Owen Bett, which means in the league, we were in 8th, I believe, when he took over. We're still in 8th, but we've got a gap there, 7 points to Plymouth. But, yeah, things are on the up. So I guess let's just zoom forward to the end of the season, see how his first half season in charge looks, and we'll go from there. So it's the end of Patrick Kluivert's first half season in charge. Before I show you how we did, I thought I'd mention that we also brought in a lot actually of new signings, just because I wanted to give him as much to work with as possible. Really help him out because, frankly, the squad wasn't looking fantastic. So, Niks Gabos joined us from RFS. He is a Latvian international at 19 years old, 18 years old. 1 goal for them. Already a regular starter for them. 6 games for them in European Championship qualifying. Centre-half, left-back, already good enough for the team. Just hasn't quite been getting in there, so you argue probably a fringe player. But he cost me nothing, and it felt like a really good move just to bring him in. So that was our first signing under the Kluivert era. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. We've also brought in, Hugh Rescue joined Sheffield United and came back to us on loan from them. So he has only played once since rejoining us, which is a bit odd, really. He wasn't really playing though under Matthew Ord either. So he's just a young player we've had around. He is good enough, I think, to be in the team, but I'm not the manager, so I'm not making those calls. Has only played once with his low spell, but we did, as you can see there, get a good fee for him. 2.8 million for a player we paid 800k to buy from Exeter. So solid profit, and I'm not unhappy with him as a returning loanee at least. He was then followed by Ryan Wiseman on loan from Liverpool. And Ryan Wiseman's a central midfielder, can play as a holding midfielder and a striker. Only made 2 appearances under Patrick Kluivert in the league, which was a bit of a shock. But did play in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy and in the FA Cup, which I suppose is nice. Got 5 caps for Wales. He's not making our first team regularly, which, is possibly a sign that we're doing quite well, which is nice. So we'll enjoy that with him. Ray McDonald came on loan from Manchester United. And again, actually has played a lot of games. 16 league appearances for us. 3 in the FA Cup. I think not all these could be for us, surely. I haven't looked at how we did this season. I cannot remember. I recorded this way at the start of this. Or I played this through way at the start of December. But Carabao Cup appearances, lots of appearances in the Bristol Street Miles Trophy, under 20 Cat Freeman, holding midfielder who can play as a central midfielder, and again, very, very good around leading League One player. We are looking at that with him, so he has done well for us. Max Del Hay joined us on loan from Arsenal on the same day, a left wing out of Frenchman under 21 international, played 11 games for us, so clearly a signing that was liked by the new manager. And he was all about the pace and the crossing, really, but he seemed to have done a job for us. 6.93 rating. I cannot complain about the boy in any way, shape, or form. We made another 3 signings. So Octavio Saiz, he comes in. He's another Colombian. Can play on the wing, can play through the centre of midfield. Very much one for the future, one to develop. But again, we may turn a good profit on and he cost us nothing. 1.8 million is his value. Joins us, having been released by Celos Colombianos. Where he played 31 league games. So a player, again, for the future, we'll try to develop him with a loan as and when we can. Danny joined us from PSV Eindhoven. We started to get some really good youngsters on loan. I guess because they know Patrick Kluivert, or he's aware of them from his coaching exploits previously, or maybe even from playing for PSV. He obviously got contacts at PSV that brought this guy onto my radar. Danny is an attacking midfielder on the left-hand side, playing all the way through in the centre. Very good all-round player. Played 11 games for us in the league. 7.17 average rating, 4 assists and a goal. Very, very good stuff. And an FA Cup appearance, which wasn't so good, a 6.3, but 4 caps for Brazil. And he did very, very well for us upon coming in. Rates as a good championship player, so we might try and keep him around for next season. Claudio Esteves also joined solid from Benfica. Centre-half, he can play right back. And under 21 caps, 20 of them for Portugal already at 19. Good all-round player. Played 16 times in League One with a 7.25 average rating. And I'm not sure what this stat is. Clearances, 15 clearances, good stuff. Also 5 assists and a goal, which is honestly a pretty good return from a centre-half. And again, just shows how Kluivert is able to have that reach within the game for us. We've brought in Dwayne Lashley from Chelsea on loan. Lots of lows. They didn't all play, obviously, because they couldn't. He only got 4 league appearances for us, but started all of them. 7 average rating, centre-half, right back, under 21 international for England. And just generally a very, very good, very solid pickup. Had a loan at Wrexham before here and did well there as well. So that was good. We also brought in Bernard Diao from Borussia Dortmund on loan. We paid 160,000 for a guy who's got 7 caps and a goal for Ghana at the age of 19. A centre-half, good pace, big lad, strong. Only got into our team twice, which again, it's a sign of just how well we're doing with these pickups, I suppose. Got a 6.9 on the way, but, you know, just a player who was coming just to see if we can give us some game time, and we unfortunately didn't really. We've brought in Nas Benchaita, which is a very awkward pronunciation. He's English, on loan from Chelsea, centre-half again, right back. Just I felt like we had turned the defence up. He's played 13 league games for us this season, and 7.06 average rating, which is pretty strong. I cannot be complaining about him and how he's turned out. Unfortunately, he has picked up an injury. It's pulled hamstring, so not a big one, but what will have affected his appearances. Amir Ibragimov came on loan from Manchester as well. He's a winger, attacking with the ball across really, but mostly a winger and a striker. He played 8 times for us, 7.07 rating, only a goal and assist though, so maybe a little bit disappointing from him. But again, he was brought in just to give Kluivert some options. Essentially, has actually played twice in the league for Manchester United as well, so that's a bit of a sign for you of potential future development. 321 caps for England, despite his name being a bit more, I would guess, Russian. And finally, Sebastien Lebrun came in on loan from Saint Etienne, a 19-year-old French under-21 international with 29 caps. Has played 8 times for us, 7 clean sheets, 7.7 average rating, so a very, very good all-round and a bit of business. And obviously, probably a player or two went out in that window. There was Hugh Rescue, we've already seen, and Caden Sessegnon has gone out on loan to AFAD Plateau. No idea who they are. Doesn't matter. Let's see how we did this season, though, under the leadership of Patrick Kluivert. We started 8th when he took over. How has it gone? We've got promoted through the playoffs. We've somehow gone from 8th to 3rd. Excellent work from the manager. We won on the playoff final on penalties against local rival Reading, which I feel good about, but I'd like to have beaten them properly. But the other big headline is Agustin Alvarez has had 19 goals this season, top scorer in the League One goal scoring charts. Weirdly, the only one of our players to really make it onto the top anything list, which is quite impressive. But let's just go and have a quick look, see how the appearances and things shook out for the season. So, no surprises then. Our top appearance maker was Wes Foderingham in goal, although, of course, we have been sort of phasing out a little bit towards the back end of the season with Sebastian Lebrun playing in his stead. But, you know, he's still a club legend, so we cannot fault him. We found a guy who could bolster our squad, and he's clearly done the job. Followed very closely by Agustin Alvarez, 47 appearances, 24 goals in all competitions. Let's see what our goal scoring looks like. Marco Libaya has had 15 goals and 12 assists this season. He is retiring, though, at the end of the year, unfortunately, but he has been a big player for us, making 49 appearances, including subs. And, followed closely by Cesar Palacios with 12 goals and 6 assists from let's do the last 57 appearances. So not the best return, but pretty okay. And assists-wise, well, it's just Lavaya all the way, with Finn Sherlock actually getting involved with 8 assists. No goals, but 8 assists in 32 appearances. So not necessarily the most inspiring all-round performance, but the goals have come, and our average racing meter, well, ignore Casey Worcester, who had a 1 goal, 1 appearance, 7.5. Probably you think should have got more football. Sebastian Lebrun, 7.47. We can ignore Stefan Bajic's 1 appearance, I suppose. Ray McDonald's done very, very well with a 7.23. Followed by Joe Rothwell, our 7.19. Oddly, not favouring the new manager, I think, because I don't think his appearances have gone up since January very much. And Claudio Estemes on loan with a 7.18 in 17 appearances. Danny got a 7.1. It's looking pretty good there all around. Lots of players in the 7s who are playing regularly, which we love to see. So, with that covered, let's just look at the transfer window for next season, and we'll just go right to the end of the season just to speed the video up just a little bit. So the transfer window going into season 6 has seen a lot of movement, is what we can safely say. So in terms of our first signings of the season, David Rithwell was a youth team player that I think I forgot to pick up and sign, but again, has that big potential. We like him, attacking midfielder all across the board. And we're always happy to see that. Maybe he'll develop into a first-team regular. We also picked up Wayne Brown, who was another youth product who comes in as a left-back, again, with big potential to improve. We'll see how he develops. Maybe he can make it into a first team. Bear in mind, if this isn't spoilers, I cannot remember at all. Our first money signing was Shamar Simon from Tottenham Hotspur, signed for $550,000, rising to $575K. And has played 4 times in the Premier League for Spurs over the last couple of years. No starts, but all off the bench, and not too shabby, it's got to be said. He is a striker who can also play a bit like Raphael, very, very similar player to Raphael, with the sort of benefit being he plays on the other side, I guess. So, you know, they can play together. Has that pace, has that acceleration, and very hiccupy tough. Good stuff. Now, that shouldn't bring fizzy drinks while I do this, but there we go. Good stuff. And there we are. We've set Paul on the low list because he does need a little bit of work. He is only a League One player. Of course, we are now playing in the Championship. So, you know, we've got a youngster to develop there, which is what we were going for. We also brought in Ryan Williams from Arsenal for $575K, rising to $675. He is an attacking midfielder out and out. Again, a youngster. I'm pretty much just signing youngsters because I think the team we've got is good enough, and we just need to be able to develop some youngsters through. I'm predominantly left-footed, but good all-round for this level, I would say, as a lower-end Championship side. But he's rated as being a good League 2 player by our coaching staff, under 19 cap for Wales, though he is now 20, so ineligible But again, has that room to grow, has that room to develop. We'll see if he becomes something as we go along. And that was followed by Bellinho on a free transfer. He is a Brazilian international playing in the Championship, a Brazilian international at 19 years old. Formerly of RB Salzburg and of Dinamo Zagreb, he was released and we picked him up on a free. Can play everywhere in midfield, has some great pace, some very good technicals, some very good off the ball. Hasn't made an appearance at this stage for us, but keep an eye on Bellinho. He is already worth £51 million. And having played for Red Bull Salzburg, Oda Sheet has some experience in continental competition. 4 times in whichever European competition that was last season. Season before that, got 4 games in Europe as well. So he's a regular part of the European squad. And 11 appearances in their European squad before the season before that. 2 off the bench there as well. And for Dinamo Zagreb, only got 1 league appearance, which is a bit of a confusing one. But, a good all-round player and a player who has that potential. Again, we'll try and develop him. He should break into our first team, though. As I said, he is a Brazilian international. So that's probably a sign. We brought in Bilal El Kanous from Leicester, a £1.8 million outlay for a guy with 18 caps for Morocco, 24 years old. We're paying him £1 million a year. That's the Championship when you start paying £1 million a year. Allegedly only a good League One player with leading Championship potential. He plays a lot of roles in the field, is very, very good across the board, and has played twice off the bench at this stage for us. 6.9 in the league, also a 6.9 for his 1 League Cup appearance. So we can be very, very happy with him as a signing. Charlie MacArthur, I feel like I'm signing on every save. And sometimes he develops, sometimes he doesn't. He's on loan to us from Crystal Palace. 1.7 million we're paying to loan him, but he's a very good centre-half at Championship level. With Premier League potential, though, it is hit and miss in FM whether or not he reaps it. Sometimes he's an absolute worldie, and sometimes he just doesn't develop at all and ends up languishing in League One. It's a very odd situation, to be honest. But he has that good pace. He's not very good technically, but his mentals are okay. His pace is good. He has started for us 5 games in the league, a 7.12, which really does justify bringing him in, I think, and paying that money at this level. James McConnell joined us on a free from Liverpool. That's another good pickup, usually if he develops. 23 years old already, only a good National League player, so we may have missed his development curve a little bit. He's had a few loans where he's been out at Cambridge and Kilmarnock, but I think Liverpool have dropped the ball on developing him. I know he's played for them in the Premier League there, and he's played 3 off the bench there as well, and a continental appearance. But I feel like he should have had a couple of loans here. If I'd been managing Liverpool, I would have loaned him out consistently over these years because he can, and I have developed him into a very, very good Championship player. But, we'll give him a second chance and see if he takes it. He's good around, hasn't played for us yet, but, we are here to develop. Claudio Esteves is a player, of course, was with us last season on loan, comes back to us for another season on loan. The right back, very, very good for us last season. 6 starts, 2 goals, 7.33 already, which is a very good side. But anyway, we've not looked at how things are going in the league table yet. We brought in Vedran Stamenkovic from TSC in, I guess, Germany, Serbia. There we go. 1.5 million. He's a Serbian. That makes sense. Under 21 international, 14 appearances, 4 goals as a striker. Very good finishing. His composure could use work, but he's made an appearance for us in the League Cup already. And again, a player that we can look to develop. He's one very much for the future, and hopefully will become a big player in our squad. That's the hope with all of these guys. Josh Griffiths joins us from QPR, £350,000 for a goalkeeper. And number one, really, to replace Wes Foderingham long term. Wes will join and stay in our coaching staff as things progress. 6 appearances, only conceded 2 goals, 4 clean sheets, which means he only conceded 1 each of the games he did concede, and a 7.22 for a goalkeeper is disgusting. He's a bit of a journeyman, 26 years old. And having started at West Brom, he's had loads at Cheltenham, at Lincoln, at Portsmouth, at Bristol Rovers, at Millwall. Joined Sunderland for 425k. Didn't break through there. QPR spent 120k on him. And then we spent 350k to bring him in as a first choice goalkeeper. Does have a little Championship experience, which of course is very beneficial to us. And yeah, hopefully a player that will prove beneficial for us as things progress. Another free transfer came in Alexander Hallakiersen, 22 years old, centre half, 13 caps for Norway already. Only is a good League One player with championship potential and isn't starting for us, but has previously played 17 league games for Juventus. So yeah, very, very good little player. Just a little idiot I had to do that. The danger of having long hair is just getting it in your mouth while you're talking. It's great. It's gone really well. Don't know how that's happened. But yeah, he has played 17 games in Serie A. They paid 2.6 million to from Balalenga and released him after a season in Serie A. We had a 6.85, which honestly, I wouldn't have released him after a 6.85. But what do I know? I would have tried developing him. At 22 years old, they've released him, and we said thanks very much. Picked him up for he didn't always best 11 as well as crazy stuff, and not starting for us, which is a sign of how far we've really come. The next signing as a free transfer, I think, is very, very good. Georgi Chakvetadze is a Georgian international, 59 occurrences, 8 goals. Previously at Watford, has 5 seasons at Watford, 126 goals a game, 18 goals. Having also played for Gent, Slovan, Bratislava, Hamburg, and Dinamo Tbilisi. So a pretty good all-rounder, a very good championship player. I wouldn't say he's necessarily a player who steps up to the next level, but he's had 5 games for us so far, scored 3 goals, 1 assist, 7.26. You cannot argue with the numbers. He's a very, very good pickup, is Georgi Chakvetadze. Javier enjoyed us on loan from Liverpool. I think he was with us last season. He wasn't with us last season as well. But he's had 1 occurrence so far in the league and put a 7.9 in it. A centre-half, former under-18 international for England at 20 years old. With, again, we talked about, maybe he's a player we pick up out as a signing. Who knows? We've signed so many really good players in this window. It's really hard to say. Gabriel Moscardo is a free transfer as well. We've picked up Brazilian international, another Brazilian international. 5 caps, 22 appearances, a defensive midfielder. Rates as a good championship player, ability to become a leading championship player. And again, very, very good all round. 6 appearances so far, 2 goals. I think from defensive midfield, which is more impressive. And a 7.18 average rating for a guy who, by the way, released by PSG, having played 19 games for them, admittedly 18 off the bench, but 19 appearances in Ligue 1 for PSG last season and a 6.88. And they paid 17.25 million for him, which honestly just makes his release all the more shocking. Their loss, our gain. We'll take him and see if he becomes a key player for us. We also paid £5 million to sign Peter from Crystal Palace. He's Spanish. I don't know how you find a Spaniard called Peter, and I don't want to know. 26 years old, so in the middle of his career, you have to say, plays on both wings, good all round. Has played 5 times in the championship, 1 goal, a 6.94. At 5 million, I think, for him as a steal. He was at Crystal Palace, and then, has gone on loan to Bristol City, to Mallorca, but he's not done badly in either loan spell. Didn't play for Crystal Palace in the championship after relegation, which is a bit of a shock. They went to La Liga and had a very good season with Getafe. A slightly less good season, although the stats are kind of similar. With Osasuna, I guess they just had a really bad season all around. And then we've paid $5 million to liberate him, and he's slotted right into our first team, which we'd love to see. Andres Santos also came on a free transfer. 1 cap for Brazil, another Brazilian international, a central midfielder, and 24 years old, with potential to be a good Premier League player, allegedly. Has only made 1 appearance off the bench for us on a 6.7 rating, but his career has been an interesting one. Starts up with Vasco da Gama. I think he is actually with Chelsea in real life. They paid 12 million for him. So another loan back in the Brazilian Serie A. Had a loan in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest, but curiously he didn't play, so I guess they recalled him because he went on loan to Strasbourg for 3 seasons and played a lot of football again in League A. Came back to Chelsea. Where he's only made 1 appearance off the bench. They've released him, and I've picked him up. I'm quite happy with him. I'm very, very happy with him. Hopefully the new manager starts to bring him in as a regular. Kim Ji-soo is a Korean that joined us for £3.2 million from Brentford. Another centre-half. I like the centre-half, and if I can get one that can develop even better, 23 years old, 41 international caps already for South Korea, and a very good all-round centre-half, but hasn't actually played a game for us, which is a bit curious. His career trajectory has joined Brentford undisclosed. I went on loan to St Mirren, played a lot of games in the Scottish Premier League, then a lot of games in the Scottish Championship, on loan at Bristol City and at Huddersfield, where he's played very, very well, which is part of what inspired me to bring him in. He's already proven he can do it at this level. Then has gone back to Brentford, played a couple of games, had a couple of starts in the Championship, but only a 6.55 rating. But again, I think worth the gamble. I think worth what we've paid for him. He's followed by Hector Fort, who I spent 4.4 million bringing in from Barcelona. He has never played a first-team game, which is perhaps a concern, but very good Championship player already. Was potentially a good Premiership player. 22 years old, plays all the way across the back line and a little bit as a wing back. And again, I think looks like a good all-round Championship player. He's played 5 games for us already, got an assist, and is on a 6.94, which just goes to show that sometimes the AI doesn't really know what it's got in its hand, because you'd have thought he'd have been playing for Barca B at the very, very least, and apparently it has not been. Who knows? I don't make the rules. That's just what happens. Kevin Pace came on loan from Nottingham Forest, which I guess is less of a shock. He was already playing for us. What has happened here is that I have sold him for 6.75 million to Forest, and they offered to own him back, and I've said yes. He's played once this season. He has, of course, been a regular with us for quite a while. Clearly a player that we've had managers that fancy, and we'll give him another season with us, and I'm sort of helping along his way to develop. It's sort of the plan with Kevin Pace. Runa can never get Icelandic names right, so we're going to have to bear with me here. I think that's pronounced Runa Thorleifsson. If you're Icelandic, let me know in the comments. I bet you're not. But if there is anyone Icelandic in the comments, let me know. Have I pronounced that right? Is it Runa Thorleifsson? Or have I got that completely wrong? I'm sure I have. Anyway, he's 18 years old. He's about 12 caps for us and for the under 21s. And has that Championship potential, but again, one to develop for the future, not one I would expect to play regularly. It was a £35,000 pickup from KR, and I'm not going to try to pronounce that full name because that's... No. I've never been able to master Icelandic, and I don't think I ever will. Toby Bell joined us for £950,000 as a backup goalkeeper from Chelsea. Again, he has potential to really develop, but he has been signed as a backup. He's 20 years old, under 19 caps for England, has no first-team experience, but was available, and our scouts said he could do well. So we've gone with that, essentially, and we're going to hope that he becomes a real sort of contender for a first-team shirt in the near future. He's been joined from Chelsea by Kubenga Lowell Suleiman. He's an English non-international, but I'm guessing there's a second nationality hiding in there somewhere. Nigerian, there we go. He is a £1 million signing, central midfield, right back, central defence as well. Absolute monster, 198 centimetres, so that's just shy of 6'6", I think, off the top of my head. And yeah, just a absolute beast, massive determination, great everything. Isn't playing for us yet. He's only rated as being a good National League player, so we're going to try and learn him out. We have got some interest from Forest Green, so we could send him just down the road. That's a nice, easy loan for him. But again, I wouldn't have spent £1 million on him if I didn't think he was going to become something special. We'd also signed Johan Marin for £900,000 from Independiente Medellin. He's a Colombian, as you'd expect, 520 caps. So far hasn't played, but another option as a backup goalkeeper, another option to develop with big potential. And we're just going to see how he can do. He hasn't even played for Independiente Medellin yet, so who knows? Who knows? He does have 520 caps for Colombia. You have to assume that someone knows what they're doing there. And he has been joined by Junior Diaz from Cristal, £400,000 Peruvian, and another central midfielder, go all the way down the middle. And as a right winger, not quite ready for first-team football yet, only a League 2 quality player with Premier League potential, but he already looks decent. I would have played him already. The manager hasn't yet, but you've got to assume he'll start breaking through eventually. Looks like he could become a good signing for us. And again, we just made money on him if he turns out to not be the complete article, is basically how it goes. Having a look at who's left as well. There are a few big players who left us in this window, I seem to recall. We have lost Paris Moldova for 40k to Mazembe, which I would guess is an Ivorian club. I think he's Ivorian. Congolese. He's Congolese, I remember now. We also sold Archie Mayer to Bradford for 3.3k. Malachi Fagan Walcott left us for 91,000. You already saw Hugh Rescue left us. I'm going back to January, by the way, because we didn't cover this in the last part of the video. In this window, Sean Wade left us for Kilmarnock for 500k. Jason Kerr for 70k. He just wasn't going to get in the team. That's why he just took money on him. Owen Beck has left us to join Hull City. The £5.25 million has actually funded a lot of the spending in this window. But we only think he's a C according to our scouts, so he wouldn't get in our team anyway, is what we're being told. Despite the fact he's played for us 62 times and has played for Hull in the Championship. So, 50-50, but we made some good money on him. I think we signed him, if I can remember rightly, we signed him for nothing, didn't we? We signed him for free when Liverpool released him. So he is actually a pretty good sale in terms of profit. And Zach Swanson has gone for Wrexham for 300, rising to 350k. In terms of this side of the window, Catalan Serjan has left us for Cluj. He was playing regularly for us, has 107 league appearances for us. We signed him for a free from Arsenal. He wasn't really good enough for our team. He's only rated as a D by our scouts now. Despite being a full remaining international, we paid 4.8 million on him. So again, the money has been rolling in. Jamie King goes to Swansea for 275k, rising to 600,000. There was no one big who left us on Bosmans, so that's always a good sign. The next big out was Chris Rice, who has left us for 10 million, rising to 15. He has never played a game for us. We signed him for 130k for a Bromley, and Fulham said, hey, we'll give you 15 million quid for him. And I've like, all right, buddy, go for it. Apparently, he's a decent Championship player, but he wasn't playing for us. So I guess we'll just take the money, and if we have to bring him back down the line, we will do. But frankly, I just think that's a good sale for the club to just bring in that money for a guy we weren't using. Corin Madden has also gone. He's gone from 9 million rising to 13.25 to Crystal Palace, a striker that we signed quite a while ago, a couple of seasons ago at least. 175k from Cliftonville. Played 8 games for us last season, scored 2 goals. And then we sent one loan to Mansfield, where we got another 11 goals in 29. And then Crystal Palace said, hey, we'll give you 9 million. And I said, thank you very much. I don't think he's going to get in our team. And if we looked at the squad comparison, and really, he's rated as our 7th best striker. He probably wasn't going to get into our team. So I think that's actually a good little sale for a good money, despite him getting a cap for Northern Ireland while he was with us, which I guess is something. Faladokin's gone for 8.25. Vivaldi Kayembe has gone for 625k as well, which is an interesting one because I think this kid got potential. And it was suddenly in my head saying I brought him back later on in the save, but I don't remember if I did or not because I've got so many things going on that I maybe didn't. But there we go. He was a decent looking player. He has gone to Vita Club in the Congo, having been signed for nothing. Had a couple of loans. So again, pretty good turnaround as players go for Valdi Kayembe in terms of money in. Sam Murphy has gone to Cordoba in Spain for 300, rising to 500k. Bit of an odd one, really, in terms of a transfer, because we signed him on a free when Newcastle released him, sent him on loan to Yeovil in the National League. A La Liga DoF team has said 300k, thank you very much, and then sent him on loan to TNS. I don't know, but he didn't play for us and he made us some money, so we guess we shouldn't be thinking too much about that. Scott Twine's gone on loan to Queen's Park for 300k as well. Oscar Neville has gone to Blackburn for 550k. Harrison Burrows has finally left the club for 1.6 million, rising to 2. We signed him on a free from Sheffield United. Played a lot of games for us. Wasn't going to get in our team this season. He just wasn't anywhere near the first team. So when you look at 1.6 million for a player you sign for nothing, and he's not actually playing for them in the Championship either, I think they've done good business with Harrison Burrows too. Cannot compare any of our business this window. Stephen Pratt has gone for 800,000, rising to 1.2. Again, player we signed for nothing. Came through a Connors Key. We scouted him, he signed for nothing. And then Barnett said, well, Lonick had a good season. Barnsley said 800,000. I said, thank you. That's the story of Stephen Pratt and his very, very short Swindon Town career. We have saw Kevin Pace, you already saw 6.75 million to 10.25. He's come back on loan. Owen Hesketh went to what for 14k. One day on an FM. I will learn to stop trying to develop Owen Hesketh because it never ever works. Yassine Ayari was a big player for us last season, and again, he's kind of been knocked down the pecking order. He would still be our third best midfielder, apparently, but he's kind of spun money for us. Again, as I said, had all games for us last season, 16 appearances, 3 goals, a 7.05. Well, Kadith said, hey, would you like 7.25 million? I said, thanks, and we let the Swedish international move on because really it wasn't going to be his time in this season. I don't think he got in our team, to be honest, very often either. So, Max Woodford has left us for 2.7, rising to 9.5. He was very much a backup goalkeeper. We signed him from Stevenage for 350k. Literally, as a backup goalkeeper, we might be able to develop if we're lucky. Sent him on a couple of lows, Chippenham and Altrincham, and we did very, very well. And then West Ham in the Premier League, I've seen enough. They've gone, all right, 2.7. And I went, all right, he's never going to be a Premier League player. So good luck with that. And that sort of roused things out a little bit. Sam Wood, by the way, is also like the 625, rising to 775k. We signed him on a free last season. Went out to hashtag on loan in the Conference South. Had a good season. The QPR went 625. And I said thank you because, again, he's never, ever going to be a championship player. So we might as well take the money, let him live his breed. So let's have a look at where we are in terms of the league table at this stage in the season, how things are shaking out. We currently sit in second, somewhat miraculously, although with the average rating we see, I guess, not a big surprise. Just 2 points adrift of Southampton. But at this stage in the season, we're at the beginning of September, we are unbeaten. We did get knocked out by Reading in the League Cup, though. A bit of revenge for them, I suppose. In terms of results so far, though, beat Bradford 1-0 in the first round of the League Cup. We beat Charlton 3-0 in our first league game. Beat QPR 4-0 following that. We drew with Hull and Swansea. Beat Watford 3-0. So we're looking defensively very, very good. Our one loss this season is Reading 3-1 away, but then we came back and beat Huddersfield 4-1. So let's see how that looks at the end of the season, because we're just going to skip all the way through. So the end of season 6, and the big man has done it again. We've got promoted to the Premier League through the playoffs, 5th place in the league. And if we have a little look at how that's shaken out, we had beaten Ipswich again on penalties after another 0-0. Our fans must be getting sick of watching 0-0s at Wembley just to wait for a penalty shootout. And before that, in the semi-final, if we can get to them, then what? It's because it's now put it on final. I was like, what's going on? Let's go back. I almost forget how to do the playoffs. We beat Birmingham 6-4 on aggregate to get there. Ipswich beat Swansea 6-2 on aggregate to get there. So you can't blame the fans for being disappointed with a 0-0 draw in the final, where both teams are obviously so capable of scoring massive piles of goals. In terms of the rest of the competitions for the season, also we knew we were out of the League Cup in the second round. Let's see how we did in the FA Cup, because that's always a better story. Not in the third round by Tottenham. That's not too shabby, to be honest, because let's face it, it's Tottenham. And we'll have a little look at the schedule, just to see if there's any big results in here worth highlighting. Let's get rid of these friendly, because there always are too many of them. And let's see it just very quickly with a scan. Anything big jumps out, any big scorelines are there. We beat Stoke 4-1 away. That's a pretty strong result for us. We also beat Watford 4-1 at home. Again, a very strong result for us. Beat Charlton 4-1 on the TV, which is good. And the biggest one, we beat Oxford United 4-0 at the Kassam. Sorry, the New Manor. They called their new stadium the New Manor because, of course, they have. It's Oxford. Originality, never a strong suit. And there we go. 4-0 away, though, in front of a capacity crowd against our rivals. Absolute smashing of them to really round out the season quite nicely. We did lose them at home, but we're going to forget that happened, because we're going to forget that happened. Let's go look at the stats for the season, shall we? So our big appearance made for the season was Josh Griffiths as our first choice goalkeeper. It looks like he has. Wes Fodring may have retired at some stage. Is he injured? Is that a thing? No, he's not. Okay, so Josh Griffiths played 50 games for us this season and has a 6.95 average rating. Not bad for a keeper we picked up on the cheap. But let's just auto-size this. It's got a 2.4 to 3.6 value, which is strong. And Augusto Alvarez, again, second in the appearance charts. And I'm guessing top of the goal scoring charts. He is 16 goals for him this season, 3 assists. So a bit less prolific on the assists, but again, doing very, very well for us as the first choice striker. And Georgie Chakpatadze, I said, would do well. 14 goals, 6 assists. And then Peter's off a little bit. No pun intended with Peter getting 7 goals, 6 assists. Raphael, 5 goals, 6 assists from 43 appearances. It's not too bad for both those, but in fact, assists-wise, very spread out across the team. There was no one who really jumps out as being the big assist maker. But, things have come from across the board this season, which is actually really, really nice to see. In terms of transfers, can't remember if I made any signings in January. I'm sure I did. I guess we'll find out together. We'll learn together from what I've done in the past. And let's have a little look, see what happened. We did make some signings in January. Josh Feeney came in and got for 775,000 from Aston Villa, but only played once. Brought in as a centre half and has in the 20 caps. And apparently, the gaffer didn't fancy using him. So maybe I've just wasted money there. It happens. We got in Rob Burnett for 4.5 million from Coventry as a striker. And he's only played 4 times, scored 2 goals. 7.1 though. Guess he was a solid backup for Alvarez and Stamenkovic. I don't even know how Stamenkovic did this season. How did he do? Let's have a little look. He made 14 appearances, including 11 subs. And didn't score a goal. So I guess that's probably why I brought in Rob Burnett to try and find an extra goal scorer in the squad. Has a cap for Wales and looks like a pretty tasty player. Comes through the Coventry youth system. To be fair, he wasn't playing for Coventry much, but obviously our scouts fancied him and I decided to trust them. And we'll just have to hope he developed, or at least we make some money off him. There we go. And there's a Rob Burnett story as things go. We brought in Herbert Kishan Raj from Sunderland on loan as well in January. All kind of stationed right-hand side player. I'm guessing by his ratings there, I brought him in because our scout said he was good and I just wanted to take an extended look at him. But he hasn't actually played that much for us. So, I guess we'll write him off. And we've got Vicente Rodriguez from Liverpool in Uruguay for £1 million and sent him straight back on loan to Liverpool. Again, he is a League One player with Premier League potential, midfielder and striker in the centre. A target man, which is always good to have as an option in there. And looks like a very good player to develop at 18 years old already. We also brought in Salifu Kajabi from Borussia Dortmund for £205,000. 19-year-old with 17 caps for the Gambia, a left back and left midfielder. And again, brought in to develop rather than to have first team appearances from. But Dortmund have a good academy. If he can really get his head down, you have to assume he will get there, which is nice for his determination of 9. So maybe not. Our final signing of the season was Vicente Fechner Adenauer, a Chilean under-23 international signer for Universidad de Chile. So he's a good player because they produce some fantastic talent. 2.4 million paid for him. He didn't play for us. Went out on loan for the season to Puerto Montt, who I guess are a second or third tier Chilean team. They're paying us to have him. So as long as he plays some football, you have to assume he will get some development in him. But again, no sign really that massively impacted the first team. In terms of players leaving in January, anyone of note go anywhere? We've sold Adrian McAvoy to Burnley for 9.25 million, rising to 11.25. Another our raids on Glenavon, funnily enough. He's got 2 caps in the goal for Northern Ireland. They are a Premier League team, they're a Championship team. He's never played a game for us. He's had 3 very good loans at, 2 at a load at Bromley and 1 at a load at Mansfield, where he's done very, very well. They're not really scored or goals, but Burnley offered his money. So thank you very much to Burnley, I suppose, for funding our continued spending sprees. We then have David O'Neill has joined Leeds, 3.5 rising to 5.5. Another raid on Glenavon. They must be making a killing off us in at least sort of, solidarity payments, if nothing else, because he had a loan at Rochdale where he didn't play at all, and Leeds still thought 3.5 million was good money for him for a left back. Go figure. I have no words. Such a waste of money. Right. We have also we apparently signed and sold Herbert Kishanaraj. I don't remember signing him. It doesn't say I signed him. Maybe we converted the loan into something. I don't know how that's happened. We signed him, sold him, then loaned him. That's what happened. There we go. £12.25 million is a good return on a guy who wasn't really playing for us, and we only paid £500,000 for. Went back on loan to Accrington twice and got back in their first team. But again, very much a League Two standard player at best, and Sunderland spent a lot of money to buy him from us. I guess he's selling a lot of shirts in Malaysia. There we go. Finn Sherlock unfortunately left the club. He was our starting left back for quite a while. Did play 27 games for us with a 7.02 rating. He was also our top assist maker, so we could have actually got automatic playoffs if I kept him. But Burnley offered us £10 million for him. I don't turn down £10 million for a player I spent £500,000 on. I just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's bad business. And yes, he'll be missed. Yes, he's good enough to be in our first team. But, you know, sometimes you have to make the financial decision rather than the heart decision, I guess what we're saying. Have we at this stage got our transfer budget for next season? We have 29.3 with 10 million to spend in wages. Let's go see how I spend it. So our first season in the Premier League, and one which we were probably woefully underprepared are 2 playoff promotions in a row. We are 11th at the beginning of September. But let's go see who's come and joined us to bolster the squad, and of course who has left us across the summer. We'll start at the June window, where we start off by bringing in Michael Skinner from Aberdeen on a free transfer. He's a 20-year-old Scottish striker who has been signed for his potential and nothing else. He's only played 2 league games his entire career, currently on loan at Morecambe, where he is playing off the bench at least 4 games there, and a 6.5 rating. Not necessarily a great son. Neither is the temperamental personality, but he's got good determination. So who knows? He might turn out to be a winner. And honestly, there are no losers when you sign a player on a free transfer. What's going on there, yeah? Dan Stallard comes on a free from Celtic. He's a midfielder, attacking midfielder, again, Scottish, 20 years old. A player who's gone on loan to Falkirk, and his previous, I'll be honest, not great. He's mostly played for Celtic's B team in whatever league Celtic's B team playing. But he has played 83 times in the league for them and scored 6 goals. So, fine, all good enough, and he's not played for Falkirk yet, but again, we'll just have to let him develop. He does apparently have championship potential, but you know, sometimes they come good. We also signed Aitor Gismera on a free transfer. He was released by Atletico Madrid, 25 years old, central midfielder, not playing for us just yet, but he's a good all-round player, decent Premier League player, and not getting in the team, which they sign on of something good, I guess. Did get a League and the Cup appearance for Atletico Madrid last season, which is, I guess, a sign that maybe there's something here. Maybe a late developer, we'll find out. And, you know, just a free signing. So, nothing to lose there. £33 million value. I guess we'll just have to see how that develops. We signed Infamara Jallo from Benfica for a massive fee, 11.25 million, but can go up to 15.75 with add-ons. He's not even good enough to be on our first team yet. He is a League Two player, but he's also a moral citizen, which we love to see. He's quick already, which is good, and plenty of room to develop. We're going to try and get him on loan and see what he becomes. But Portuguese under-21 international cannot be a bad signing, I'm sure. We also signed Bayern Huelen from Leighton Orient for £1.1 million. A 16-year-old again to develop. He's going to sit in under 18s. And we'll see what he turns into. Our scouts thought he was a good signing, so we've just taken a punt, really. Plays on either side. We're trying to play as a winger because he can't do it just yet. But again, one for the future and money that could be well spent if he develops. We also signed Romulo Lobaton from Tenerife, £7.25 million for a Colombian international centre-half with very premature male pattern baldness. 2 caps already. He's 186 centimetres tall, which is a big boy. It's like 6'2", 6'3". I could be wrong. It could be bigger than that. I can't convert metric to regular in my head. But, you know, such is life. And so his history, He played aside for Tenerife, 1.5 million, and played 24 games in Liga DoS for a 6.81 rating, and got his first international cap before signing for them. So I guess that's why they picked him up. And he got that having never played a game at Atlético Nacional in the Primera A, which again, bit odd, bit of a strange call, but there we go. Hasn't made it to our first team yet, but you've got to feel a player that good, probably not far off making his breakthrough into the team. We also got Roberto Batista from Nacional in Uruguay for 4.1 million, away attacking midfielder and indeed a striker. He hasn't played for us in the league yet, has played in the Carabao Cup. And again, just wants to develop to the future. He's not quite Premier League standard yet, but I'm sure he's going to get there. He has played a few games for Nacional as well. 20 league appearances, 8 goals, and a 7.37 average rating across those 2 seasons. And a Copa Libertadores under-20 winner as well. So that's possibly a sign of good things to come from Roberto Batista. We also have Fabio Carvalho from Leeds, a familiar player to most of us, I suppose. Came through Fulham's academy, went to Liverpool for 5 million. Has a something determined at point, joined Brentford, Arsenal, RB Leipzig, where he's played a few games in the Premier League, got some good Premier League experience behind him at least. I'm just quick mathing this, but that's 29 Premier League appearances across his career before joining us. Well over Boavista, well low to Leeds. They paid 4.6 to sign him. He did well enough that I paid 5.25 to sign him. He's 27. He is very much in the squad as a rotation option, but, you know, a good rotation option is how I feel about Fabio Carvalho. We also signed Sadam Shamaradash. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So bad with accents and Turkish names. I think it's Sadam Shamaradash. He is an all across the board attacking midfielder. 21 years old, 24 and 21 caps for Turkey. Decent Premier League player. Already started for us. 3 appearances, but so far only a 6.633 average rating. But again, should improve massively. Signed for £9 million from Sivasspor, where he's been doing very, very well in the Super League. So I would say it's safely a good signing. It just needs that time, maybe, to adapt to English football. We will see how that goes. Luis Felipe joins us for free from Everton as well. 32-year-old centre-half Italian with 1 cap. Again, just brought in to add experience and depth to the squad. Has a 6.9 and a goal off of 3 appearances this season already. And a history, man. He's played a lot of games in the Premier League already for Everton after they paid 7 million to sign him from Al Ittihad. He must have taken a hell of a wage drop to join us, because, you know, he came out from Al Ittihad and Everton were probably paying 8 or 9 million a year, because that's how that goes. But previously of Real Betis, of Lazio, of Salernitana, of Bituano, Brazilian who's become Italian as well, curiously. There we go. But yeah, lots of experience at the highest level, which is sort of what we're looking for from players to sign for a Premier League season, is, you know, just to kind of have that extra backup. We are then, when it's the free transfer market, our players got released, of course. Harvey Elliott, the first signing, always a good signing. Has come in, 26 years old, has played for Liverpool for quite some time after joining from Fulham 10 years previously. He may have got a testimonial at Liverpool and played less than 50 games for them, which is he's played 60 odd games for them. That's fine. But yeah, he's had a patchy career. Another player I'd say with Premier League, because he's got Premier League experience, always has good potential. And because now players can develop later in this version of FN, I thought he would be a reasonable pickup. He's only on a 6.3 off of, 3 appearances, but 2 off the bench. So take from that what you will. 15 under 21 caps for England. But again, a player who I've seen turn into something special, and he's got everything in the right place. Just, I guess, needs to bring it all together for us. We'll see. It's Harvey Elliott. You never know. Mario Molanes came in on a free as well. He was released by Mallorca, 30 years old, plays all at the centre of midfield. 3 games for us so far, 6.47. Not necessarily the greatest start, but I wasn't expecting us to pull up any trees. I will be happy if we just stay up this season. And again, just very good technically, mentally, and physically as an all-rounder. Can't be unhappy with him. And as I said, we started on a free after Mallorca released him. He has played one of the games though in La Liga, both then, and Villarreal, and for Espanyol, and for Almeria in La Liga DoS too. So all around, not a terrible signing, I don't think. One, certainly even at 30, to be a benefit to us. Andrea Corbani is an Italian who's coming on a free from Monza, but with lots of Serie A experience for them, which is always nice to see. Another 30-year-old Italian to a pro soccer bench with a 6.65, but he'll be pushing for a starter soon, you'd think. It's here and Manuel Morales competing for that attacking midfielder role in the centre. And yeah, another good experience pickup just to really help us adapt to the Premier League. Shea Lacey came on a free as well. He has come in from, I believe, QPR. There we go. He's coming on a free from QPR. Is it? No, Manchester United. A load of QPR last season did well there. 21 appearances, 4 goals, 4 assists, a 6.8 rating. Has played in the Premier League for Manchester United. We've got a 7 last season off the bench. Has had loads at Swansea, at Sunderland, and at Peterborough. So all around a good player. And actually, surprisingly, only 22 years old. And another player signed to hopefully develop into the Premier League player he can become. But we'll see how that goes. Again, he cost me nothing to a massive value as well, which is always a strong look. Esteval has come in, a 22-year-old Brazilian right winger, attacking midfielder, all at the middle, really, and a striker as well. Allegedly a championship player, has made 3 appearances off the bench for us with a 6.7, but also played in the Carabao Cup, 1 goal, 1 assist, and a 9.3 rating, which I think is probably pretty solid. And he looks like way better than a decent championship player. I think we had a look at our coaches, what they're telling us, because he looks like a very, very strong signing. On a free, released by Chelsea, has played in the Premier League 3 times for them, all off the bench, but a 6.7. And a load of Blackpool in League One went very, very well for him, and has played for Palmeiras as well. So looks like a really good signing for the future. There's Estemal. We also signed another player who will recognise, Lewis Hall, 12 caps for England at this stage in his career, 24 years old, and has had a pretty good career. As I said, signed on a free as well. Apparently a good championship player, but I think he's always decent in the Premier League as well. 6.9 and an assist so far of 2 appearances, and has played 60 times before he joined us in the Premier League for Chelsea and Newcastle. So, you know, he's probably going to be A-OK for us as a signing. They were the Spaniard, of course, Angel Alcaron. I went back to Barcelona because, frankly, Hector Ford did so well for us that I thought, why not go back to them for another 3D? And, well, championship player with Premier League potential, has played once in the Premier League, only for a 6.2, but played in La Liga DoF for Levante last year, did very, very well, and has been doing very, very well for Espanyol, for Barcelona B. And another attacking all-round kind of player as well, just to give us more options up front, which is always good to see. Ola Solbakken has come in as well, and he's a Norwegian international, 49 caps, 13 goals at the age of 30. Another player to fill those attacking areas, give us more options. 3 appearances, an assist, and a 6.7 so far. And previously, of course, plays for Roma, and has been doing very, very well in Serie A, which is what inspired me, I suppose, to sign him. Because, you know, you can get a player like that on free, always do it. And our big signing, I suppose, as well as this, there's been quite a few big signings of this summer. But Luke Shaw has come in. He's 34 in this universe, 54 caps and 5 gold for England. Has been playing off the bench for 3 past as a starter in the Premier League. It says he's a good League One player, so it shows you how far he's dropped off. But he'll be a good mentor for young players. And, you know, if he can come in and fill a gap for us, he'll do very, very well. And has made 322 league appearances for Manchester United in this universe. Only played 6 games last season, which shows the drop-off. But he was a first-teamer previously. And you can't complain at the numbers. Quite frankly, Luke Shaw doing very, very well. Matthias Jensen comes on a free from Celta Vigo at the end of his contract. Previously, of course, of Brentford. 33 years old with 24 caps in this world. But played last season and the season before in La Liga and made a lot of appearances for Brentford in the Premier League as well. Yet to play for us. But I guess just builds out a gap in the squad and lets us have options, which we love to see. We picked up Charlie MacArthur on a permanent free, and he has been playing 3 games so far, 6.83, and hasn't developed massively, if I'm honest. Isn't a much better player than he was last season. He obviously did so well for us last year on a 6.96, 42 games that we had to sign him because he's kind of become a rock at the back for us. Michael Carmona, a free transfer, goalkeeper, 18-year-old Spaniard, on loan at Charlotte in the MLS, where we haven't. We just signed him off for random free agency and sent him on loan to Charlotte in the MLS. We'll see it, guys. At this stage, I guess it must have been a fairly recent move for him because he would have played by now, you'd have to think. But again, one for the future. We can't complain too much about him. We brought in Darko Djordjevic from Crvena. I can never pronounce this team right. Crvena Zvezda in Serbia. 19 years old, 20 under 21 caps already. Played in the Carabao Cup for a 7 rating, which is pretty solid for a 19-year-old. But I'd probably let him go on loan, to be honest, just to get some development. But he has been playing for Crvena Zvezda in the Serbian Super League already. So probably a good sign this boy has something about him. And one again for the future. Fernando Olmo joined us from Realis Valles Bay. I think that's actually Real Betis in real life. He is an expensive 20-year-old, 30 over 21 cap already. Hasn't played for us yet. I've paid £17 million based on a scout report that told me he was a decent potential player, but he's only played once for Real Betis in the Liga, so a little bit worrying. But we'll take a gamble. We'll see how it goes. We love a gamble, and we'll see if he pays off. Luca Mortellaro has joined us for 3.7 million from Udinese, a 20-year-old Italian attacking midfielder. Again, one for the future to throw out the squad a bit. Going back to Udinese on loan for the rest of the season, which is probably a strong move. And he has played a lot of games in Serie A. I'm guessing mostly off the bench. Most of his appearances will be off the bench at his age. But also was previously with Inter, where he was also getting in their team, which is a strong sign. We've paid 3.7 for a guy they paid 300,000 for. Maybe I should have picked him up with Inter, but I think at that stage we were still in League 2, League 1. Probably wouldn't have wanted to make the jump. But, a signing is a signing nonetheless. And our final free of the window was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. 10 caps for England at this stage, 33 years old. Is past his best, isn't starting for us just yet. In fact, he only been signed yesterday in game. That's probably why he's not starting for us. There's not been a game to play in. But his career, since leaving Chelsea, of course, he went to AC Milan and has been a starter for several years. Went on loan for Rennes last season, did okay there as well. In fact, his average rating across those has been 7.1. That's disgusting. And especially as most of those games have been played in Serie A. But now joins us on a free for a pretty good wage, actually. £2 million a year is a pretty strong wage for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And we'll see if he gets in our team when we get to the end of the season, I suppose. In terms of players leaving, we'll just have a little look through the players who've gone out in this window and beyond, because I'm sure there's been some big sales to raise the funds for these guys. Romanian Riley has gone for Watford for £875,000 and played for us in League One, did very, very well for us. Went on loan last year to Hibs because he wasn't going to get in the squad, didn't really play. So for Watford to pay £875,000 for him, honestly, it seems like we've stolen their money. If I'm completely honest, I think they may have slightly overpaid for him. Lewis Norbury Wisdom has gone to Millwall for £300,000. We signed him on a free from Scarborough, sent him on a couple of loans, and they seem happy to have paid money for him, and they've loaned him straight out. So I guess we've probably done well with the money there. Who else has gone out this side of the break? Augustin Alvarez joined Girona for £15 million. Of course, our top scorer the last couple of seasons. Wasn't going to get in our team this season. He's a League One player, apparently unlikely to improve, but he is playing in the Liga DoF. £15 million for a guy we signed for free from Sassuolo is not a terrible return on investment, I would have to say. And it would be our 8th best striker this season, including apparently behind Vedran Stemenkovic. So he's had some development this season, which is very interesting. And we've made big money on Augustin Alvarez. Milo Martin goes to Oldham for £7,000. Stefan Bajic goes to Sevilla for £40,000. Alexander Hamakiasen joins Albertine for £8 million. Well, I signed for nothing. Ended up sending a loan to Elche. The 23-year-old Norwegian wasn't actually playing for us at all. And then Albertine in Saudi Arabia have paid us £8 million to take him there. And I guess it's not really a big loss, and actually quite a big gain for us money-wise. Shortly checked, the Tadze has got out on loan to Hanover for the season. 2.5 million we're getting for him being on loan. Peter has gone to Wolves for 7 million, raising to 8.75. That's a pretty good deal. Kian Pennant, I don't know if he played for us, has gone to Warsaw for 28.5k. I think he played for us a few times. 4 appearances in League One. He's just been out on loan in League Two and League One since then, and not really pulling up any trees, which explains why I decided to sell him on at 25. Kamani Ryan, I think, did play more football for us. He has gone. He played when he first signed for us, then went on loan a bunch of time, essentially. And Luton have paid 250,000 rising 375. But let's be honest, he was probably never going to be a Premier League player, so we've actually done some good business there to sell him to Luton. Let's have a see who else has been moved on for good money. Gabriel Oscardo has gone to Wolves there for a lot of money. The player we signed from PSG, of course, at the start of last season, played a lot of games in the Championship for us. I guess I decided he wasn't going to be able to step up, or maybe it was just a case where I signed too many players who were better. To be fair, I didn't sign many players better than him either. I guess it was just the money was too good to turn down. We got him on a free, and we'll have paid 17.25 million, rising to 21 for him. So I have to say, I think I've done good business there. You watch him come back and haunt us in a couple of years. That's how that one will go. And then also a load of players have got out on loan. Christo has got out to Burnley for 5.5, rising to 6.75, I think it was. Again, player didn't play for us, but we sent on loan to Sutton to Stockport. He developed enough that Burnley decided to spend a lot of money on him. Burnley seem like wasting money on players who aren't really getting anywhere in their careers from us. I'm not going to say no to that, to be honest, because they are essentially funding our rise. Imagine if they'd spent money as well as we seem to have been, they'd be in a way better position now. That's just how that goes. Bilal Al-Khanous went to Nuremberg for 550k. He was very much a key player for us last season. I'm actually taking a bit of a loss on him, but again, it was just a case of he's sixth in the pecking order for his best position. There's no point keeping him around. We may as well take the money and just reinvest it somewhere else. That's just good business. Jacob Duncan went to Charlton for 115k. I don't remember this guy at all. He didn't play for us at all. Had a couple of Newport Isle of Wight, must have been a great experience for him. I went to Dagenham in the National League, came back, Charlton went, he might become a Championship player. Spoilers, he will not become a Championship player. We can safely say that from where he's at now in his development, I think. So we'll just take that money and let it go. There's Gibson, odd move to Tinana for £40,000. He's an Englishman that we signed for nothing from Hampton and Richmond and sent it on loan a couple of times where he did well, fair play to him as a striker. But where Serie C club offers you 40k, you just think that's odd, and then you go bye, because he was never making it in this squad at all. Shania Simons are out on loan as well. A player we signed at the start of this episode to Millwall, so it'll be Hilda, and Callum Montgomery has gone for 220k to Charlton for a large pile of cash, essentially, here for our youth team. I will never become a Championship player. I don't know what they're thinking. But that is our transfer business, so I guess we're going to go to the end of the season. So at the end of our third season in the Premier League, we have scored a 12th place finish. Unfortunately, we didn't do much in the cuts, but that's life, I suppose. But I'll take 12th place in the league. There have been some new signings. You'll probably see a couple of them on your screen now. So we'll talk about those who've come in towards the sort of January period, I suppose, of the season. So we have somehow brought in Marco. He must have been a youngster. Marco Bjorn has come in, 18 years old, from Brøndby. So I must have set it up before the window. I don't know how that's worked. But there we go. He's coming. He's wanted by Leicester. He hasn't played for us exactly in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, but he's a decent young defender who has some potential for growth. So I guess we'll find out how that goes probably in the next part, to be honest. So Wesley Schutt has joined us from Vélez for 17.25k. This is a curious one because he is a Dutch player, attacking midfielder, again a youngster for development. but has been playing in Spain. I don't know how that works, but again, he's a youngster, so we'll sort of keep him in the future. I would imagine one way or the other. We signed Juan Antonio from Granada in Spain as well, another youngster, just again brought in on a free and sent back on loan to Cordoba in La Liga DoF, where he's been playing some decent football. So good for him, I suppose. Michel has joined us for 220k from Atletico Levante, an 18-year-old Spanish. Oh, the hiccups are back. An 18-year-old Spanish attacking midfielder who, has, again, room to develop. He is just going to sort of carry on, we would hope. And we'll see if Michel becomes a real sort of force in our team as time goes by. Our big signing of January, our first big signing of January, there were a lot of big signings in January. Marco Shida joins us from Brighton. He's a 29-year-old Spanish centre-half with some good pace. Just in the midpoint of the season, we were looking like we were going to go down. And so I sort of thought, let's tighten that defence up, really see if we can help out the gaffer. He's had 8 appearances so far at 6.36, so I can't pretend it was a massively successful transfer. But that's life. We paid 19.5 million for a player that Brighton paid 13.25 for. He wasn't playing well for Brighton. I don't know what I was thinking looking at this. But that's life. They signed from Lazio. Lazio signed him from Real Madrid, where he wasn't even really playing there. So it's a bit of an odd one. Sometimes you look back at these and go, I made some odd choices. He wasn't playing well in Serie A either. But, that's life. The gaffer obviously fancied him, so we've let that one ride. We signed Adnan Bonic from TSG Hoffenheim, 22-year-old goalkeeper who's made 15 appearances for a 6.94 this season and has definitely helped with the push to stay in the league. A £7.5 million signing is not too bad. It will probably rise a little bit, but that's life. But he's been playing well in the Bundesliga, so we cannot be unhappy with Adnan Bonic as a goalkeeper signing, I would say. Alvaro Catoira has joined us for £100,000 from Bergantinos in Spain, and again, another youngster for the future with big growth potential. He seems to be doing a lot of growth recently, which is something that is nice to see. Had played 42 games for Bergantinos in Argentina, or in Spain. More than a playable league, but that's like he's been playing, and that's all that matters. He's looking good. He's an under 18 international as well for Spain, so we will accept that quite happily. Samu joined us for £46,000 from Ebro in Spain as well. A winger attacker, 18 years old, again a development prospect, not one to worry about just yet. But he said he's there, and we'll see if he turns into a real player. As I said, lots of transfers in January. Ruslan Litvinov has joined us from Spartak Moscow, 13.5 million, another defender / defensive midfielder / midfielder, 28 years old with 3 caps for Russia, and 12 Premier League appearances for a 6.77. Is nothing to be sniffed at. Yes, I spent a lot of money on him, but again, all just in aid of helping us to stay up. I don't feel too bad about it. He was doing quite well for Spartak Moscow before that. I feel a bit bad about sending money to Russia, but all fair in love and Football Manager, and that's what happens. So, Carlos Ruiz was the next player through the door from Badajoz in Spain. He is a striker. I sent him on loan to Ross County, 7 games and 1 goal for them in the Scottish Premiership. Another 18-year-old who, again, he's got that growth potential. A lot of very good Spanish youngsters coming through in this side. And I can't complain because I'm picking them up cheap, and 44 million is good value on a player that cost us next to nothing. We then had to make a bunch of loans and frees just to kind of keep us in the game a little bit. Patridge came in on loan from Real Madrid. He's a centre-half that played across the defence and a left winger. We've had a guy, was it Sidney Grijo, for us at Loxham, I think, and a very similar player to him. 21 years old, 3 caps for Brazil already. He's come and made 15 appearances, scored twice, and got a 6.99 rating. So probably a real difference maker for us this season. And a player that they paid 15.25 million for, played in the Liga a lot, and then for some reason agreed to loan to us. I don't know why. I'm not going to argue. He's probably kept us up, or at least been one of the players that has kept us up this season. Owen Riley came on loan from Manchester United and played 29 games. I can't all have been for us. He's an Australian international, 21 years old, 20 caps, plays as a right back and a left back. We'll have a look at his actual stats for us. 12 league appearances is more like what I expected to see from him for a 6.72. Again, curiously, was starting for Man United and they've still loaned him to us. I don't know if there's something broken in the game with this, but I realistically wouldn't see United loaning us a player who's in their first team, no matter what was going on. But that's life. They have, and he's done last 6.79 across the season, 6.72 for us, which is some good business for a loanee. Adele Ordonez, has joined us from Porto on loan. Ecuadorian 20-year-old, 29 caps, and a defender and a central midfielder who's made 12 appearances for a 6.78 on the season. And just a very good little player. He's been one of our better players this season. I received from one of the stats. I think his pass completion is the best in the team, which is not something I've ever been a cry about. We brought in Markel Ispizua. I'm never going to get that right. 18-year-old striker, again, developing from Pasaya. He's on loan out of Figueres, so he's come in from a club where he's been doing well. I've gone straight back out on loan. We've already made a profit on him for £300. There we go. He's paid his own airfare. And literally his airfare to come sign and go back to Spain. But still, there we go. He's on loan at the moment. And again, player to develop for the future. Too many good Spanish strikers in this database at this point. Ernest Poku has come on loan from Inter as well to help us with the bush. And play Holloway across the front three. 13 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 6.74. He's been working hard but not getting the results. Got to feel maybe there's some development there. Has a cap for the Dutch national team as well. So you can't complain. And again, he's been playing in Serie A this season as better, to be honest. But they've loaned him out to us. I don't understand it. I'm never going to complain, but I don't understand it. And we've just used that to our advantage. Juan Franjoles comes in from Atletico Madrid. 21-year-old defensive midfielder who can play on either side of that as well. Very good-looking potential player, it's got to be said. He's only played 4 games, but still got a 6.8. And a player that I don't know if I actually did, because my memory's gone in hindsight, though. Probably should have tried to get into the door permanently, but that is life. Red Burke comes all over for Liverpool, the Northern Irish international. 7 caps and 4 goals at this stage in his career. We will be seeing a lot of him in the save. Bit of a spoiler for possibly the next part, because I think it took a while to make that happen. But yeah, 7 caps, 4 goals. So quick. Such a quick winger. 4 starts, 11 off the bench as well. 1 goal, 3 assists, 6.87. That's a hell of a signing for a 21-year-old. And quite the player for sure. So we can be happy with him as a signing. Lauren also joined us from Manchester United alone. And plays all the attacking roles, really. 2 caps Brazil, 23 years old. Signed, as I said, on loan from Manchester United. Where again, he was playing. He was actually starting games, and they've gone, no, look, this way not. I'm guessing they've changed manager. That must be the explanation for why they're loaning out starters. But that's life. We've still quite happily accepted the loan. He's come in, done all right, 6.69 off 13 appearances, no goals. But, you know, in a struggling side or a mid-table side, that's not out of the question. And Tomasz Doan has joined us on loan from PSG, an attacking midfielder from Poland, 2 caps. 21 years old, a very good player. 4 stars, 8 sub appearances, a 7 average rating, and 2 goals amongst that as well. And again, another player looks like a really strong player for the future on this universe. We also brought in some free transfers just to bolster the squad in places like felt like we needed help. One of those was Kelechi Iheanacho, who was an odd signing, not least because he's 33. 52 caps and 13 goals for Nigeria, was released by Sevilla mid-season, which was really odd. And I picked him up a couple of days later to bring him back to the Premier League. He's been playing okay in La Liga, or at least was playing okay in La Liga when he got there. It was fairly prolific. And then suddenly he's getting 1 goal in 20 appearances off the bench for Sevilla that season. And this season just gone, got 1 goal with 7 appearances off the bench. again in La Liga. I'm guessing they're playing out wide, or he's only getting like the 20 minutes you need to qualify for a rating or something. I don't understand how that works. But he came in 11 appearances, 5 goals. Not too bad for a fella who is decidedly at this stage of his career over the hill. Yes, he's still got the pace, but decidedly over the hill. It has to be said. Don't understand why that is a thing. We also brought in Guilen Jean Guerrero, or Guilen Jon Guerrero. I never know how to pronounce this fella's name either. He's 26 years old with under 21 caps for Spain. Came on a free after he was released by Alaves and hasn't played, so I've already set him up to be sold because he's just eating a wage and he's going to be free money. I had a seasonal loan at Roma and was coming through at Real Madrid, but yeah, has never really established himself anyway. It's quite odd for a player who does have at least the signs of some decent ability. So, he's more in just a kind of bit of a panic, I guess. It hasn't paid off. And the final signing was Nelsinho, who will be all a bit of youngster set to come in at some stage earlier on, and finally go in the middle of March. And again, one for the future, and hasn't played for us yet, but comes in from Goiás, where he also didn't play. So that's life. In terms of who left in January as well, I think there were a few big ones because we've spent a lot of money, so there must have been some big ones. Alejandro Duarte has joined Guadalajara in Paraguay. He wasn't really playing for a single Brazilian Andre. 2.2 rising to 2.7 for Duarte, 1.3 rising to 2.2 for Andre. We saw Pascal Clemens to Hull for £6 million. And this feels like good business because we picked him on a free for Hertha a few years ago while we were in League One. And he has played in the Premier League 17 times for us, but also we brought a lot of defensive midfielders over the course of this season. He's just dropped down the pecking order, unfortunately. So we've just taken some money for him and let him move on with his life, which is probably a good thing. Hete has gone to Wickham for 190k. Kim Ji-soo now properly established himself at the club since signing for us. Only played 7 games in 2 seasons. We've sold him on for a little bit of a profit. We made about $2 million on him, which is not too shabby, really. Honestly, he probably benefited us more in shirt sales than he did in terms of performances. Aitor Kishmara, you might remember me signing earlier on, he's gone to West Brom for £15 million. And didn't actually play for us at all this season, so we sold him in January because he's 26, and I offered £15 million for a 26-year-old who's not in my team. I'm taking that all day long, so I thought Ishmael became a big sale for the window as well. Also, Fabio Carballo has gone for $7.75 million to Shanghai Port in China. Again, wasn't getting in the team, so I just had a little bit of a reshuffle just to raise some money effectively with him. That's how that's gone. Cesar Palacios has joined Real Valladolid in Spain for 1.3 million. He did play regularly for us in the Championship last year, but wasn't playing in the Premier League for us this season at all. So it just made sense to let him move on and see if he can find a happier home back in Spain, because why would you deny him the chance to go home when he's not doing anything here? Ismail Mahan, we signed years ago, 325k to also do Rayo Vallecano. Richard Davis has gone to Charlton for 2.7 million. Bit of an odd one, this, in that he came in for Manchester City on a free. Again, had 2 loans out at Hennel and at Salford. And then Charlton will offer us 2.7 million for him. At least in this case, I will say, there is at least a fighting chance he might turn into a decent Championship player. So, maybe not a massive waste of money for them, and he's going to have to develop quickly to be worth their while. And that sort of concludes our transfer business for January. So we'd, I guess, move on to the next season's transfer window, where hopefully bigger things are going to happen for us next season. We'll have a look at the budget. There was a budget there. £18 million to spend for next season with £1 million a wage, but not a lot of wiggle room. But we've already made some offers as well. Ashley Furch from Spurs has already had an offer playing for it, and a few players already lined up that we'll get into because there are youngsters coming for including Justin Kluivert. I say youngster, including Justin Kluivert, because his contract was running out, and I think Daddy just felt like offering him a lifeline because I guess he's nice like that. Maybe he'll play for us. Who knows? Let's find out in the next part. Before we get to the next part, though, let's look at the stats for the season because I guess that's where the story will be told. We have got Andre Santos making the most appearances for us this season with 35 starts, one off the bench, and followed by 35 for Anna Lewis Hall, who I think have been our fullbacks this season. Josh Griffiths only making 24 appearances, but obviously Adnan Bonic will have affected that dramatically. In terms of goal scoring, so let's go to the players who are not at the club because that's going to cloud things. Oh, unavailable players. Let's go get those back in the squad too. Right. So, goal scorers wise, Rob Burnett and Kelechi Iheanacho have both shared spoils. 5 goals each. Rob Burnett has played 19 games though, whereas Kelechi Iheanacho has only played 11. Rob Burnett starting the season as our first choice striker, rather curiously, because honestly, you can see on the right hand side here, he's not rated as being amongst our top. He's our 7th best attacking option apparently, and yet still has made 16 appearances in the league and scored 4 goals, which I guess says something of rotation. But he's developing okay, quite nicely in fact, and considering that last season he wasn't necessarily looking like a brilliant player, he's stepped up in the Premier League and he's done a pretty good job for us, so we can't complain there. And obviously, we've already looked at Kelechi Iheanacho. Ola Solbakken has also had 4 goals. But again, it wasn't a season where we scored a lot of goals. And while we spread them out quite nicely across the squad, no one's really stood out as the goal scorer this season. That will be a priority for the window next, or this summer coming up. And assist-wise, Lewis Hall has had 9, Andre Santos had 5, Esteban with 4. And then it just drops off again. It all just kind of tails off. So we seem to have done well defensively. In fact, I think the league stats will probably bear that out. We have a little look properly at them. Let's have a look at where we are here. So we have scored 43, conceded 67, which tells me that tightening up the defence was the way to go. And our expected points position was 17th. So we have massively outperformed our expectation, which is nice. If we go back here, though, we have a look at the story of the season before we wrap things up. When we came in, I believe we were here. I think we just played a couple of games when we first came back. I can't remember. But no, we were here. We were 11th. And we kind of went down. We kind of hovered mid-table. You can kind of see here. It just all started falling apart. This is the end of December. We're 19th. I've come back to do the transfers. And immediately just gone, look, lads, we need to tighten this defence and we need to sort this team out. And things have slowly improved to see us finishing 12th, which I think is a pretty good performance. But now let's look at what we're doing in that transfer window, I suppose, because, we can improve on this. So going into Season 8, we were looking to improve on how things went last time. And we find ourselves back in 11th as we come back. But the transfers, my lord, the transfers this summer, brace yourselves. Because, some stuff be happening is a thing I can safely say. So, let's start with within the end of last season business-wise. You already saw that Ashley Phillips was coming in. Ant Macaulay has come in on a free. He was already there with us, but we accidentally released him. I brought him back. We'll ignore that because that was a mistake. Adrian Padron came on a free from Velarde, 18-year-old Spaniard, another 18-year-old Spanish attacking midfielder who is coming to be developed. So he's going to be hopefully a thing for the future. Rafinha joined us on a free from Herbania. They are another Spanish side, I believe. Are they a Mexican side? No, they're a Spanish side. He just happens to be a Mexican under 20 international. Right winger playing all the way up the sides there. We are currently looking to loan him out. Some error coming to him. That is a bonus program. He's already to standard, but all of this needs filling out. Like he needs to become a much, much better player for us as the time comes for him to develop. Ashley Phillips, of course, £750,000 for Tottenham, is a very, very good player. 1 cap for England already, but he's growing slowly, and at 25, he needs to probably grow a bit quicker. But yeah, he's not really getting first. He's not at all getting first team games for Tottenham in the Premier League. He somehow, is it this season? I think in this season managed to get an England cap despite never making a first team appearance in the league. I don't know. But it says right here he got his first international cap. So whatever the England manager is doing, I don't know. But I would suggest probably a draw of some type. Anyway, yeah, he's coming out to be a centre half, or so he came off the bench once for a 6'9". So I guess he's doing okay thus far. So we cannot be complaining too much about him for a cheap signing. Ivan Roche is showing us from Multivera for £39,000. And he's a youngster who's gone back to Multivera on loan on 8.1 this season already. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, he's just a really good, really good looking young centre half who I think has a really big top end. I don't think Championship is right here. I think this guy's got a much bigger top end. And we will find out in due course. Jorge Cruz joins our free from Torrent. Again, another Spaniard, I would imagine. Give him the name. He is another 18-year-old. And again, here just to be developed and to see what we can turn him into over the coming seasons. 18 years old, of course, plenty of time to grow and develop. Jose Angel Exteboro has come in from Guernica. I'm guessing I pronounced that right. Another Spanish 18-year-old, £230,000 spent on him, and they get just another striker, which is, I've got too many strikers in the squad by a mile. But, you know, they're all youngsters. They can all go on loan. They can all develop. We'll keep the best ones. We'll sell the rest of them. That's how that's going to work. We're doing fine. I almost rhymed. I missed it. Anyway, Slobodan Jovanovic is coming on free from Leonesa, which is another signing I'm quite happy with. And again, another striker. 18-year-old Spaniard, allegedly. I've got a feeling he might also be Serbian. Just off the top of my head, he is also Serbian. But again, what's a good player that could become a better player, and he's wanted for loan by Luton, which would be a good place for him to go and learn his craft. So we will figure out from there with Slobodan Jovanovic, another good youngster for the production line. Francisco Villarino joins from Tenerife B on a free transfer as well. A left winger, another 18-year-old with, again, we're trying about him with the potential there. Get him out on loan, hopefully, and see if good things happen. He's apparently already played for Tenerife several times in La Liga DoF, which is quite nice to see. He's got at least that experience under his belt. We'll take it. Raul, not the Raul, of course, because he's about 90, but he joins us from Talavera, another striker with experience, but again, needs to go on loan. He's started to dip a little bit, which is worrying. We'll send him on loan. Hopefully, he will turn it. And as I said, we've got loads of strikers in this squad. There's 17 strikers in this squad as we speak, and we're playing with one. So, you know, it is going to be survival of the fittest. And unfortunately, Juan Jose Capdevilla has joined us from Nervion, as well another Spanish 18-year-old right back with room to grow. And again, has been playing for Nervion for a couple of years already in Spain as well. Again, one will go out on loan, and we'll see what he turns into as a player. On the other side of the update break, we signed Ernest Poku for 11 million, made that one permanent because he had a respectable season for us last year. I would say a great season, but it was respectable. And so we were just kind of hoping that once he bedded in, he would become a better player for us. And also, to be honest, having strengthened the squad, that maybe he will become a little bit more prolific. We'll see how that goes for us. But Ernest Poku has joined us permanently now from Inter for £11 million. Anatoly Trubin joined us on a free transfer. He's a 29-year-old Ukrainian goalkeeper who has gone straight in as our first choice. 70 caps for Ukraine, having spent the last few years playing for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, and God doesn't it show his wage, just 7.4 million. Previously, though, on Benfica, 44.5 million spent to take him to Saudi. Previously, 3 seasons at Benfica, and then before that, of course, at Shakhtar Donetsk, because where else would he have played, quite frankly? And good times. It's been a good times today. Iñaki Oyarson joined us from Egues. He is a Spanish, I presume it's Spanish Turk with that kind of name, 18 years old. Spanish Basque player. Okay, we'll go with that. Who knows? No team for determination, another left winger, just again here to be developed. Has played a lot of football for Egues as well before coming in here. Matias Nunez doing sort of free, and he was previously released by Manchester City. 32 years old, still only 11 caps for Portugal, which honestly, criminal. He's a hell of a player. Has had a decent time at Manchester City. didn't play at all last season and barely played the season before that, which is slightly troubling, but explains why they released him after paying £53 million for him. But, you know, he's Matias Nunez. He's a very, very good player and will become a key part of our midfield this season. 4 appearances so far, 2 goals, 7 average rating for a fellow who can sit nicely in our midfield and kind of dictate play just a little bit, which is what we were looking for. Our big signing up top is Rasmus Højlund. I was looking for a striker. I was looking for goals. Rasmus Højlund was available on a free transfer at the end of his Manchester United contract, and he agreed to come and join us. He's played twice, scored once, and a 7 average rating. His career recently has been a bit shaky. Had a season on loan at Rangers, 11 goals in 28 games there. But for United, since signing him for 66 million, he's barely played. It's really odd. And I don't know if he's had because he had a big injury history. Not really. There's nothing there that strikes me as egregious. He's had a few, but nothing that should have affected him too badly. He just hasn't been getting into the United squad. And, well, I'm not going to complain. 39 caps, 17 goals for Denmark. He's already scored a goal for us. And we all know how good Rasmus Højlund can be when he really hits his stride. So we're not going to complain too much. And hopefully he will be a goal scorer for us. Justin Kluivert, I said, had come in on a free from Bournemouth. End of his contract. Daddy wanted him. Daddy got him. He is actually good enough to be in our team. And he's played 4 times. Whether that's nepotism or I don't know. But he's played 4 times, scored 2 goals, got an assist. He's got a 7.03, which is all we can ask for. And has spent the last 7 years at Bournemouth, although he has had a couple of loans in there. 1 at Rangers. He's also been out before, of course, to Valencia. Played for Roma, played for Nice, played for Leipzig, played for Ajax, because of course he did. But yeah, Justin Kluivert joins his dad at Swindon Town. I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going on with this, by the way. We'll get there, we get there. I brought in Georgi Chetwatadze, and it just seems to have released it 3 times. Not released by his club, and I brought him back in just to keep him fit and see if I can sell him again. I'll be honest. Either way, Javi Diaz is coming on as a youngster from Holloway on a free. And again, he's another young striker who is here just to see what we can make of him. And he's wanted for loan by Shelburne. So he might go and play in Ireland for a little while. That'll be a nice little holiday for him. Adrian joins from Canes in Spain as well. He's going to be another 18-year-old. He'll be another striker. I expect it was so. He's a winger. He's a 17-year-old winger. Don't know how that's happened. I assume. No idea. He's coming. And he looks like a footballer for the future as well. So we will enjoy Adrian where we can. Mikel Armendia has shown us a free from 11 on NAC. And he is, once he loads up, a 18-year-old Spaniard who has been playing for Laguna Oñac in Spain quite regularly. A striker, a winger. Again, so many strikers in the squad right now that it's honestly become comical. So many strikers. Too many strikers. Enric from FA Grama. I'm going to assume he's a Spanish 18-year-old striker because that's all that's in their squad right now. He is a Spanish 18-year-old attacking midfielder. I was close. And again, one for the future to loan out for us. And we're really quite a loan farm. Enrico Galan from Duesto. He's a free transfer. He sounds Spanish. Is he a striker? No, he's not. He's a right winger. He's 18 years old. But again, he plays like, or he looks like becoming a real force. We then went to Ismael Kabir, who of course was with us way earlier in the stage. This was very much I wonder if I can flip him for more cash than I got before. Because we've done that quite successfully so far. It's okay, lad, come home. By the way, he's coming back in on a free after his spot at Norwich. Didn't go terribly well. We're still on loan at Wraith for the season, and we'll see if that procures a transfer fee for him. Botan, I mean, very much same boat. Got released by Dunfermline. By Brentford after Dunfermline. We signed him back in with set him on loan to Derry just to see if, again, money can be made on him again. Because why not? He was our player first. We'll do what we like. Jake takes it on a free. And he, I'm sure, is going to be a world-class player eventually. He joins us from Chelsea. Has potential. He's 22. So let's not hang our hat on him too much. But he's already under bid for loan. I reckon from Chippenham. There we go. He can go and play at Chippenham. That's always a good trip. Harvey Vale joined us for £11.5 million from Celtic. I remember signing him because I needed a left back, and he was the best option I could come up with. He's allegedly a leading championship player with some potential left in him. We'll see how that goes. He's played 3 times and he's got a 6.33 rating. So I'm going to say not well so far. Played for Chelsea's academy, has been on loan a few times in a few places and done fairly well. So I guess we're just hoping for some just benefit from him, really, I guess, is the story of that. And there we go. Sat here for so long. Harry Walker, also another left back, comes in from Southampton. 30 million, rising to 38. Hasn't played for them. Bit of a gamble. 21 million under 21 international. Had a decent season at Coventry, but our scouts seem to rate him, which is nice. And he's quick, which I like. So we're going to hope that Patrick Kluivert sees a little something in him and turns him around into a really good player. You can only hope, to be quite honest. Demar Adonis joins us on loan again. We saw him last time. Felicien Piron has joined us on loan from Club Brugge. He is a Belgian international, 3 caps already at the age of 19. He's a wonder kid. I remember signing on loan because I couldn't afford to buy him at this point. And I just thought, you know what, we'll see if we can get him out. I think in the future fee in here. Or we'll just rely on those release balls. Either way, it was kind of a case of we'll bring him in, we'll see how he does. And if he sticks around and looks good, we will try our side in next year. Was sort of the plan with him. 4 games so far, a 6.57. But at 19, you can't complain, especially as a wonder kid. Mesut Özdemir has joined us on loan from Manchester United again. And I say again, he wasn't with us last season. No, he wasn't. He was on loan at Norwich last season. A centre-half with under 21 caps for England. And again, a decent history. Played in the Championship last year. 40 games and 7.11. He's started 3 games for us this season. And he's on a 6.9. That, in my books, is a very, very good signing. And we'll take it. He's not played for United just yet, but I think it'll be just a matter of time before he does. Also from United was a fella you'll know the name of. It's Kai Rooney. Kai Rooney is 20 years old. He's got 11 caps. 5 goals for England. I'm not saying that's nepotism, but he also hasn't played for Manchester United yet. And he's had 11 caps for England already. So just say his name may have gone in the England squad. He's a right winger and a striker and an attacking midfielder who's very quick. Arguably looks like a better player than his dad at this age, but I also never thought his dad was as good as some people did. So, 50-50. He's had a start and an appearance off the bench so far for a 6.4, but he's had some good loans at Swansea, Burnley and Wolves in the Championship. Scored goals and has been fairly consistent at 6.83 overall across his appearances. So I guess you'd have to say he's a decent enough signing, and if he does well enough for us, we won't be saying anything bad about him. So Kai Rooney, he comes to us. Iker Vera has joined us from Champre in Spain. He's going to be an 18-year-old striker. You watch. There we go, 18-year-old Spanish striker. British got on loan. Good start. Here for the loan farm. I don't even know why I'm thinking on these youngsters. I know I'm going to get in the team right now. Filet Fofana, Atletico Torreloso. He's a Malian, but he's come from Spain. He's 18 years old. He's going bald, and he is a striker. And yeah, there we go. Sort of tells the whole story. He's gone on loan to Real Bamako in Mali. So I guess hoping to get noticed by his national team. We'll see how long goes for him, I guess. Juan Luis Chacon, £350,000 from Numancia. He sounds Spanish. He's 18. He's an attacking midfielder. And again, will go on loan. Will be developed. He's a League One player already, and he actually doesn't look too bad. It's sort of the lower half of the technical that's been laying down a little bit here. But he would have got in our team, I think, in the Championship, but he's not going to here because he's not ready. Juan Carlos on a free. Bet he's Spanish, bet he's 18. But he's a striker. Too many. There's too many of these. He played for Catalonia and he scored some goals there. So enjoy him when he eventually comes through, I assume. Josete comes to our free from Atletico Chirponero. Another Spaniard, another striker, another 18-year-old. Good stuff. So I'm going to try and skip over these when I remember who they are now, because I don't want it to become a meme. Ione Balens, a striker. Inigo Pereira is, I think, also a striker. No, he's a winner. Oh, there we go. Michael Gill, you know, who about him? Vivaldi Lusamba from Tona. I think he's the second Vivaldi Lusamba we've signed in this save. He's a Belgian right winger. I think the Vivaldi Lusamba we had before was a left winger on loan from Everton. But I think that's why I've got confused. There we go. Apparently, Vivaldi Lusamba, a very popular name, is what we're learning here. Francisco Molines, another Spaniard. Manuel Diaz, I have a feeling he's still a youngster. Tonchi Bilic, Tonchi Bilic being a big player. That's why I shouldn't leave such a big gap between episodes. Tonchi Bilic, right winger, striker, 19 years old, 4 caps and a goal for Croatia, 9.75 million from Dinamo Zagreb, and he is a wonder kid, but he does have a mercenary personality. I would not expect it to be long before this fella makes it into our first team. He looks like a beast, and I think he's one of those players who just needs to get a couple of games under his belt, hits the ground running, becomes a solid player. 34 occurrences with Dinamo Zagreb, 18 goals already in his career. A big signing for very, very little money, it's very said, 9.75 million. Lamar Forrester has joined us for £35,000 for Liverpool. He's a winger that can play on both sides. I signed him, he's 22. I signed him because he still has that Premier League potential. He cost us next to nothing, 20 million potential transfer fee. If he comes good for us, we make money. If he doesn't, we've lost absolutely nothing, to be honest. So that's all good. Richard Antwi comes in for 500,000, wide into 800,000 from Napoli. He's a striker, 22 years old, 12 caps and 3 goals for Ghana. And again, it's League 2 players, a decent Premier League potential player. We'll send out on loan. We'll see what happens to him. Because, you know, who needs just one striker when you can have 75,000 of them? 22 appearances for Napoli so far in Serie A, and 3 goals is not too bad at 22. I can't begrudge him that. Harry Howell is an Englishman joining us from Juventus for 375,000. Came through at Brighton, went to Juventus for a free, played a couple of games in Serie A for them. Not necessarily well, but did some games. I've paid 375,000 just gambling on that future potential being able to be hit. And frankly, we make a big profit if we sell him. He's already a Conference League winner. But yeah, he's not ready yet. He's nowhere near ready yet. But we'll see what happens with him. Because you never know, could be 50-50. But again, it's a small outlay or potentially a big financial return. Chris Donovan joins us from Chelsea, 1.3 million rising to 1.6. He is a Romanian, despite being called Chris Donovan, is a Romanian, 19 caps, 1 goal for them so far. I believe he's Canadian as well and English. There we go. And just hasn't played for Chelsea yet. Our scouts rate him highly. I don't know, but again, I'll take a gamble because in the grand scheme of things, with that kind of value, that is a very, very low outlay or a very small gamble. Manu Castellanos has joined us right off the order as well for £170,000. He's not 18. He is Spanish, 22 years old. A defender that can play all across the back line with big potential again, just to try and loan out. And just gambling all that potential at that price tag. So that's the Eagles. Let's have a quick scan through the outs before we skip to the end of the season, just so I know, or just so I've got you all caught up, really. So let's have a look. At the end of the season, we lost Scott Twine to Queen's Park for 3.2 million. We have sold Andrew Fagan to Preston for 61k. We have loaned Shea Lacey to Sunderland for 1.4 million. That was quite a big one. Kang He has gone to Jeonbuk for 2.7 million. I don't even remember signing this fella. He was a striker. We signed a free from Scarborough, where you often find Koreans hanging out, I guess. We sent him over to Eastbourne. He did nothing since, so I guess 2.7 million is a bit of a surprise. But do you know what? We'll take it. I hope he has fun. Marco Bjorn, who we saw previously, has left for Wolves, 3.1 million, rising to 10.5, which feels like it was a big profit on him. It was, because we signed him for free and he never played. It's a massive profit on a guy who never played a game, but Wolves again coming through with the cash for us. James McConnell's gone to Preston for 240k. Reyes Theory has gone to Plymouth for 350k. I don't remember this fella at all. We signed him free from West Brom, who went on loan to MP Dons to Cheltenham, and nothing happened with him. So I guess that's why he's been sold at 26. Good stuff for him. Matthew Ord also goes to Plymouth for £240,000. He was the left back we got in on a free, also on a cheap from Tamworth. Centre on loan, had a good year in League One. He wasn't going to play in the Premier League. He might have made it into a Championship player if we were lucky, but he was never. And he did play 2 games in the Championship, as if to prove what I'm saying. But yeah, he never ticked on. So he has gone on to greener pastures, literally in brief. Wasn't a deliberate pun. Then the Georgie Fatadze thing happened again. I don't know what's happening here. I have no idea. What happened there. Answers postcard, let me know. Josh Griffiths has gone towards £3.7 million. And there we go. £3.7 million because Wolves wanted to pay money for him. He was like our 5th choice goalkeeper at this point, because he wouldn't have played ahead of Adnan Bonnet, you'd have thought, and Alex Fall would have been a better option, especially over a 28-year-old. And there we go. He's old. I remember what happened with Georgie Fatadze now. A weird bug. I don't understand this bug, but I just remember what happened with it. So, I had him in the squad. He was already in the squad. I set up this transfer for him to Sarniki for 24 million. When I clicked to put it through, it just released him. I thought that must be a weird bug. So I signed him back and then tried to use an editor to Saloniki, and it released him again. I thought maybe there's just an issue with Saloniki. So I tried to do the same deal with Rapid, and the same thing kept happening. I don't know. So I think at this point he's actually on a free, or maybe I just let him be released and he just will not move. He's just got frozen somewhere in the game world. I don't know what's happened there. But we've done our best to try and help that move happen, because the game just had a fit. I didn't really understand why. Dane Scarlett has gone out for 2.1 million to Hull. Joe Wormleyton's been on our squad forever and never really kicked on. He joins Derby for 225k. Josh Beattie goes to Swansea for 2.8 million, which I think is a decent return. Given that we signed him, he barely played, had a loan last season, and then he made a profit. So profit, we like profit. And then we've Ola Scholbacken has gone to Bayer Leverkusen for 12.5 million. Had a single season once, but he's 31. We had a really good profit on him, but he was never, ever going to be a Premier League player this season. Just wasn't going to happen for him. He was barely a Premier League player last season. Andrea Klopani has gone to Stuttgart for 6.25 million after the add-ons and whatnot. Only played 11 times for us. He's 31, so it just felt like a really good time to move on and let him do other things. Troy Parapet had also got to Derby for 550k. And again, it was one of those situations where I signed him for cheap from a team where he looked really good. Had a few loans out here and there. Never became a great player. And then profit is his entire career story. He's had a Welsh cap in that time. So that was the transfers out. Anyway, let's zoom to the end of the season and let's see how this one goes, because I've got a good feeling, because we put together a really, really strong squad. But let's have a look. We haven't done this for a while. Let's have a look at the Premier League predicted table, because as I said, we finished 12th last year. We have been predicted to finishing 15th this year. I think the season before this, I'm not going to go back and check, I think we were predicted to finish 18th at the start of the season. So 3 position rise would take us into 9th, which could be a cheeky place in Europe, but I guess we'll find out in just a moment. So coming to the end of season 8 then, and wow, we've got some big news. Let's go straight to the competitions tab, because although we only finished 10th in the league, we have, once it finally loads, won the League Cup, which was when I saw this the first time, was a bit of a moment for me, because if you're not a Swindon fan watching this, we have previously won the League Cup in 1969, where we beat Arsenal in the final, and then we were told we weren't allowed into European competition, so they let Arsenal in instead, and they went on to win what was the current version of the UEFA Cup. What's now the Europa League. It was the Bears Cup then, I think, but it was now the Europa League, despite not really qualifying because we beat them. So we were robbed of a European trophy. But now we get a chance to set things right a little bit, because we are in the Europa Conference League, allegedly. But I have a feeling that qualifies us for the Europa League. We'll find out. We'll find out down the line, I suppose. But yeah, it's been a good season. I did make, I think, a couple of transfers. I say a couple, that's going to be 500 Spanish strikers or 18 in January, just to shorten the fact. I went quite conservative. I bought in 3 players. Luciano Carreño joins us from Chelsea for £37 million. They bought it from San Lorenzo. He wasn't playing for them. Played 4 times for us for a 6.67. An attacking midfielder and left winger who has some pace and was brought in largely, I think, because I wanted extra bodies in there, because our best left wingers were Justin Kluivert and Harvey Vale. And frankly, I thought extra bodies were a good idea. So Lucien Carreño is our third signing from January. We then brought in Jack Hepworth, who we had on loan before from Manchester United as centre-half right back. 22 years old, 19 under 21 caps, but hasn't actually played for England's first team yet. Made 8 appearances for us for a 6.58. Not necessarily a great signing for us, but as I said, we had on loan right at the start of his career. He did very, very well for us. Had a few subsequent loans where he's done very well in the Championship. 28.5 million, I've probably overpaid for him, but you know, you have that emotional attachment to a guy who did well for you earlier on. So Jack Hepworth came in as a signing. And then Alex Hall joined us from Racing Ferrol. He is a Spanish 18-year-old striker called Alex Hall. I don't know. I have a feeling Racing Ferrol might be one of those fake names in the game, but I couldn't for the life of me, with a gun to my head, tell you who did that, or who that was, that they are in real life. He is also part English, but doesn't actually speak English very well. So one of his parents, but presumably his father, failed him there. But there you go. He has to play in La Liga DoF. As I said, I think Racing Ferrol might be a fake named team, but I couldn't tell you without blowing up the badge. No, they are Racing Club Ferrol. There you go. So there you go. He has been back on loan there. He has been playing well, and you know, again, potentially a big one for the future. But he's not quite ready yet. So we'll let him enjoy his time at Racing Ferrol. We have let a few players go as well in the January window. We sold Lewis Hodgson to Millwall for 145k. Bellinho went to Shanghai for 39.5 million. Charlie MacArthur went to Al Ittihad for 27 million. That's funded that little spree. That'll be why I brought in Jack Hepworth to replace Charlie MacArthur. And I guess Bellinho's replacement was young Luciano Carreño. Vivaldi with Sambas out on loan as well. Nathaniel Nuuso has gone to Hull for 2.6 million as well. That's kind of funded things along the way. Angel Alcoron out on loan at Celtic as well. And Shamar Sima on the loan out to Toronto. Also, Ernest Poku has gone on loan to Levante. And Enric, who I don't remember actually fully signing, but apparently we did. I don't know when that happened. Maybe he had a clause in there somewhere. That's a different Enric. We've had 2 Enrics. Oh my god, this is so confusing. There we go. Ernest Poku's gone out on loan to Levante, and Rafinha, who's another signing we brought in, could be big for the future, has gone out on loan to Burton Albion to learn his trade, and he's playing quite well now, man. So we will hopefully see him come through in the near future. Let's dive into that Premier League season a bit further, though, because that's always worth a shout. And a long way around, then. I don't know why I did that. So we have finished in 10th, so a 2-place improvement on last season. 11 wins, 12 draws, 15 losses. Let's see if there's any big wins in that list, shall we? 4-0 away at home to Burnley, 3-0 at home to Arsenal, 4-0 at home to Leeds there. 5-0 at home to West Ham, and we even were a 1-0 win against Chelsea, which is pretty strong. Any big draws in here to worry about? We drew with Manchester City, we drew with Manchester United, that's gone okay. And there's no drubbings in there, which is nice to see. We're on a 0-goal difference. Scored 44, conceded 44, which I think would put us among the lowest conceded in the league. Certainly there's only 4, 5, 6 teams that have conceded more than us, and we've just not been finding the goals. So realistically, if we could have found the goals, we would have been further up the table on actually exactly where we were expected to be. So we can't complain too much. We've done just about fine. Let's have a look at the squad just to see how their stats have shaken up. So our leading appearance maker, let's get rid of the players who aren't at the club again, because that's a good idea, because we had a lot of players on loan playing a lot of football. Denel Adonis has been our top top player in terms of appearances, 46 for a 6.9. Matthias Nunez, 46 appearances for a 7.06. Sanan Kamurash, or Shamardash, I'm never going to get that right. Sedan has had 42 appearances, despite saying he was going to be a fringe player at the start when we signed him. 13 assists, 5 goals. Justin Kluivert, despite being a bit of a nepo there, 41 appearances, 9 goals, 5 assists. Great return for him at 32. Mesut Özdemir, the Manchester United centre-half, we loaned in as well. 2 goals and an assist for a 7.05. So look at our goal-scoring charts. Tomci Bilic, I said, would come good. 10 stars, 23 appearances from the bench, still finishes our top scorer on 9 goals. Got to think maybe he should have been starting. Just saying. Presumably Justin Kluivert was taking his place for all of those games. He also got 9 goals and plus 5 assists. Rasmus Højlund, bit disappointing, 42 appearances and only 8 goals. You expect more from there. Plus Matthias Nunez was 7. And then it goes from 5 down from Saran all the way down to, Kelechi Iheanacho only getting 1 goal and 11 appearances after last season. 5 and 11? Bit of a drop for him. Anyway, assists-wise, we can see Saran has won that with 13, followed by Nunez, followed by Esteval, 22 starts, 9 sole appearances for 6 assists. Andre Santos and Justin Kluivert getting themselves 5 each. And then to the average rating, it is Tomci Bilic, who is the leading average rating maker. Anatoly Trubin and Adnan Bonic, by the way, have been sharing the goalkeeping duties a little bit, and they've both been doing as well as each other, which is an interesting dynamic to have. Might see Anatoly Trubin leaving in the summer, especially if he's wanted by someone, or he's wanted by Spurs. So it is very possible he might find his way into a transfer to make way for Adnan Bonic to either step up or for us to replace him with someone better, potentially. I don't know. But the big headline is we have qualified for Europe. It says the Conference League. I think it's the Europa League, but it says it's the Conference League. We will go with that. But so far, good progress from our manager, Patrick Kluivert, getting confused with his son now. Let's have a look, see how he's improved while he's been here. Actually hasn't improved that much, to be honest. In fact, I think these have all dropped since he's been there. But, you can't argue with success. The guy is doing very, very well. But since we're now at the end of we've now qualified for Europe, I guess we end this here. We come back for the European era in the next episode, which is still ongoing. And we see how things go on. I have to, at this point, sort of start thinking about what the end point to this rebuild is. Is it winning the Premier League? Is that the end build? Let me know in the comments. Is it winning the Premier League or the Champions League? Which one do you think is the end point for the series, bearing in mind where we started? I do not know. Let's wrap up the episode as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I haven't always been chasing later. This episode's been horrendous at all. All my rebuilds tend to be horrendous at all. But thanks for watching, and I haven't always been chasing. And I do like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave comments down below, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends. Until next time, stay safe and have a good one.